Hello and welcome to my new guitar nerdery video, What and Why Melodic Minor. I'm gonna tell you about a scale, and actually a whole scale system with 7 different modes, like in the Aeolian system, like the church modes, that you should know. If you ever came across chord symbols that look like this, and you do not know what to play over this, the melodic minor scale could be one of them answers. The melodic minor scale derived from the harmonic minor scale. I've made a video about the harmonic minor scale. It's Guitar Nerdery number 57. The harmonic minor scale came into existence by solving a problem. It already happened way back, hundreds of years ago, in the classical era. When composing and playing cadences, there was always a disappointment when composing in minor. Let me explain to you by using the C Aeolian scale, the C major scale. We have the notes C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Each of them notes I just played of the C Aeolian scale, of the C major scale, can be a root of a new scale and a root of a chord. We then get 7 different chords. In the C Aeolian system we have C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor and B diminished. The first chord, the fourth and the fifth are major chords. Out of these chords we get the most popular cadence, the 1-4-5 chord progression. C major, F major, everybody knows this. One thing comes in very handy here, the 5th chord, the G major chord. When we add a 7th to it, it's a minor 7th, the note F. And this chord contains 2 guiding notes that lead to the root chord again. The B of the G leads to the C, to the root of the root chord. And the 7th leads to the 3rd of the root chord. If I play only these 2 guiding notes, you still hear the progression. In my Guitar Nerdery video number 57, I go very much into detail with this, so look it up if you want to know more about this. And now we come to the problem that appears when composing in minor. When we want to play an equal, interesting cadence, a 1-4-5 with a dominant tension chord that resolves perfectly into the first chord again. When we want to do this in minor, we don't have it then. The parallel minor chord of the C major chord, the A minor chord, which is the 6th in the Aeolian system, in the C Aeolian system. Then from this point of view, if I make this the first chord, the actually second in that system is now the 4th, and this is a D minor. And the 5th chord is the 3rd chord of that system, it's an E minor. So we have a cadence, 1-4-5 in minor, A minor, D minor, E minor, A minor. So back then, already hundreds of years ago, it was decided that we need a major chord as the 5th chord, so that we have at least 1 guiding note. If we change this, we have A minor, 4th is still D minor, but then we change the E minor to E major. And the major 3rd here, the G sharp, is the guiding tone to the root of the root chord. Now we have a nice cadence, a 1-4-5 progression in minor with a chord that creates tension that resolves perfectly into the first, into the root chord. And now comes the issue. The A minor chord, the root chord, comes out of the Aeolian scale. Which is called in the classical music the natural minor scale. When changing a chord, the E major chord now, we changed one note. We changed the G to the G sharp. That we have to do at that moment with the scale 2. After this, we can go back to Aeolian. That is the reason why we have the harmonic minor scale. On the long run, it created a new problem. By raising the 7th note, the minor 7th to the major 7th, we get a distance of an augmented second between the minor 6th and the major 7th. All scales of the Ionian system are diatonic scales, and a diatonic scale is a scale which consists only out of whole tone and halftone steps. By creating the harmonic minor scale, we bring an augmented second into it. Always, when we have an augmented second in a diatonic scale, we get something too. We get something that we associate with an oriental sound. So by changing the 5th chord in a minor cadence from a minor chord to a major chord, we solve a problem. We get a satisfying cadence, but we also get an added oriental sound, and that was not always wishful for composers. A new problem that had to be solved. And here the melodic minor scale comes in. By raising also the minor 6 of the harmonic minor scale to the major 6, we get rid of the augmented second interval. A harmonic minor. And here the augmented second from the F to the G sharp. If I make the F an F sharp, this is the reason why we have a melodic minor scale. There is a classical theory and a jazz theory. We always talk about the same music, but you can have different points of view. Let me finish this part of history with those two different point of views. Classical music is actually not thinking music in chords, but in voices. And a chord is more something that appears at the moment when you analyze it. The melodic minor scale, from the classical point of view, only makes sense when playing it upwards, because then you have guiding notes. Hitting the root again, it's resolved, and when we go backwards, we can play the Aeolian scale. This is the way the melodic minor scale is approached in classical music. When we get to the point of jazz theory, why would I play the scale differently back than upwards? I can play it the same way back as I play it upwards. Then I get a new scale, and like in the Ionian system, every note can be a root of a new scale, and we get a new scale system. And that's what I'm gonna talk about in those next 2 parts.